August 3, 2025. A chill grips the Western world, not from weather, but from a sudden fracture in a decades-old alliance. The US, Canada, and the EU, once united in prosperity, are now locked in a fierce trade war. What started as a unilateral tariff decision in Washington has spiraled into a global crisis, shaking the very foundation of economic cooperation. The Trump administration's sweeping new tariffs blindsided allies, triggering swift retaliation. Canada and the EU's cancellation of a $43 billion Boeing contract sent shockwaves through markets, symbolizing the new era of economic conflict. Stock markets tumbled, corporate boardrooms panicked, and global supply chains unraveled overnight. The sense of betrayal is palpable. Trusted friends now see each other as adversaries. This isn't just about trade figures, it's a clash of ideologies threatening the post-war order. The ripple effects are global, threatening businesses, workers, and families with a tidal wave of disruption. At the heart of this conflict is the tariff, a tax on imports now wielded as a weapon. The US has reversed decades of free trade, raising average tariffs to levels not seen since the 1930s. Canada faces a punishing 35% tariff. The EU's deal is shaky at best. The administration claims it's correcting past wrongs and reclaiming economic sovereignty, even at the cost of alliances. Allies see this as betrayal, launching legal challenges and condemning the US for undermining global trade rules. The world braces for a protracted bitter fight, one that could reshape the global economic landscape. The stage is set for a showdown with no easy resolution. The trade war's impact became real with the cancellation of a $43 billion Boeing order by Canada and the EU. This political earthquake shattered Boeing's future plans and put tens of thousands of American jobs at risk. Boeing's stock plummeted, production lines halted, and suppliers faced catastrophe. Workers who once felt secure now face layoffs and uncertainty. The promise of job protection through tariffs has backfired, making these workers the first casualties. Canada and the EU's hardline response shows they're willing to absorb pain to inflict it back on the US. By targeting Boeing, they've struck at the heart of the US economy. The message is clear: one-sided trade actions will be met with equally powerful retaliation. The era of mutual economic pain has begun. The Boeing cancellation was just the beginning. Canada and the EU launched a coordinated counterattack, imposing tariffs on iconic American goods: bourbon, oranges, cheese, motorcycles. These products hit politically sensitive states, aiming to turn US voters against protectionist policies. The cycle of tariffs escalates, harming US exporters and shrinking markets for American farmers and manufacturers. Allies are forging new trade deals, bypassing the US and building alternative supply chains. Canadian energy is heading to Asia. European and Canadian businesses are diversifying away from American markets. This strategic shift is designed to insulate their economies from future US policy shocks. The US is no longer the indispensable partner it once was. Behind the headlines, ordinary families bear the brunt of the trade war. Job losses mount as layoffs hit aerospace, manufacturing, and agriculture. Tariffs drive up prices. Americans could pay $2,400 more this year, with essentials like shoes and clothes soaring up to 40%. For many, these aren't minor inconveniences. They're devastating blows to household budgets. In Canada and Europe, workers and consumers face their own wave of insecurity and rising costs. Workers on both sides of the Atlantic are pitted against each other, all suffering from a conflict they didn't start. Small businesses struggle to plan as trade rules shift overnight. Economic anxiety grows, investment slows, and the promise of stable middle-class jobs erodes. The human cost is measured in lost jobs, shrinking paychecks, and growing fear for the future. The world stands at a crossroads. This trade war could erase $2 trillion in global commerce and trigger a deep recession. The choices made now will determine if we pull back from the brink or plunge into a new era of protectionism. One path: cooler heads prevail, tariffs are suspended, and negotiations begin to repair alliances. Trust will take years to rebuild, but stability is possible. The other path: escalation, more tariffs, broken supply chains, and a global recession that reverses decades of progress. International cooperation would collapse, poisoning relations and making it impossible to tackle other global crises. This crisis affects everyone: the price of food, job security, retirement savings, and daily life. The stability of the world order is at stake. The hope is for dialogue and recognition of our shared destiny. The fear: a long, painful economic winter from which recovery will be slow and uncertain.